Hi, I'm Andrew Halsman. I work at Family Tree Counseling Associates. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist with over 30 years experience. I work with individuals, with couples, and with families. And my phone number, if you want to call me, is 317-457-8668. Or you can also contact me at aholzman, Holzman 2 at comcast.net. I take Anthem Insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, if that's an issue, and I'm willing to talk with folks on the phone or by Skype. This video is called Why I Hate Boundaries, and I'm doing this a little tongue-in-cheek, so bear with me, but boundaries are difficult. Boundaries are no fun. Boundaries prevent romantic closeness. Closeness is what everyone wants in a relationship and what they seem to need. Togetherness of two people who are close is a lot of fun. People want to be close, and that's the chemistry of an early part of a relationship. You want to be connected. You want to be one person. You want to lose yourself in that relationship. So you can call it we-ness, or sharing all of yourself, or connecting, or being part of something bigger than yourself, or chemistry. And I believe distance and boundaries happen after the fun and the chemistry of the early part of the relationship is gone. The anxiety of too much closeness sometimes, or the anxiety of being disappointed, brings up some distance and some need for boundaries in the relationship. So chemistry is all we hope for the relationship. It's all we want. We want the person to compliment us, agree with us, connect with us. And walls and boundaries are the result of that anxiety and stress and the reactivity that emerges when the relationship gets more intense. Some people want more closeness to reduce their anxiety, and some people want less closeness to reduce their anxiety. It just depends on your personality and depends on how your family did it. Some families are very, very overly close, very enmeshed, very connected, and there's no room for differences and different opinions. And when that happens, if you want to stay in the family, you have to kind of toe the line. If you don't toe the line, then you have to find ways to survive outside of the family. In other families, there's just a lot of distance, there's a lot of cutoff, it's not talked about. I mean, that's the issue. Things are not talked about, so people just go their own way. And what I find is people in a relationship tend to marry someone often from that other type of family. So if you're from a family that's very, very close and overly close possibly, then what might seem attractive to you would be someone who's very independent. And if they're very, very independent, they might be from a family that's very distant and cut off and disconnected. And if you're from a disconnected family, you might be attracted to what seems like warm and loving type of family. And so you'll be connected to, or you'll connect with a person who comes from that type of family. And of course, difficulties arise when you're in a situation which is different than what you're used to and what your family has dictated as the norm. And that brings up those stresses and those reactivities. The reactivity being either shutting down or being overly needy and involved in the relationship and trying to be close. So anyway, boundaries don't do this, such as don't do this or don't do that, don't touch me, or don't get interested in that, or don't take this, or don't be here or go there, whatever the boundaries are in the relationship. It could be as simple as don't eat my food that I have left over in the refrigerator. It could be an emotional boundary, such as, hey, when I'm in the bathroom, don't come in. I had someone tell me once that they had, their spouse barge into the bathroom while they were on the toilet, and that was very stressful for them, and they couldn't get through to that person to not do that. Or if you're in the shower, that's a very private place. Or if you're trying to sleep. So there's lots of ways that you can set up boundaries. Boundaries, of course, can be ways to put a lot of distance. And most people just want to get along. They want a stress-free environment, but often these boundaries, because certain people pull distance or pull wanting these boundaries to kind of replace the anxiety they feel when they're overwhelmed or when they're feeling engulfed, they can prevent closeness. So in some ways, why I'm saying why I hate boundaries, I'd rather sacrifice my identity. A person might want to sacrifice their identity to maintain closeness when the only other choice is distance and coldness. So for most of us, being in therapy would help with the balance of those forces, with too much closeness and too much separateness. But that means work. Therapy means looking at your family of origin issues and the way that they impact your behavior. And why do that? Why work so hard? You'd rather just, kind of enmesh with a person and be very close and be, have that romantic vision and that chemistry maintained forever and ever. Recovery means losing that intense romantic anxiety and, kind of not knowing what's going to happen next. Trying to always stay very connected. And closeness means that over closeness means that I don't have to deal with my own feelings. I can just focus on the other person. Means I don't have to give up the perception of myself as this loving, caring, wonderful person who just wants to be close. So closeness is very powerful. Over closeness is very powerful. It means I'm giving into, paying attention to how my family has done things and my needs and wanting, the right thing for the relationship, the correct thing for the relationship, which is to be close and to be loving. Being less codependent, which is what this is in a lot of ways, is very hard. Never mind that the other partner might be resisting. I'm going to keep pounding away. I'm going to keep pounding away at being close because, damn it, that's who I am, and that's what will work. I want to be close, and I want to be connected, and that's the right thing for a relationship, and that's what we had early on. Of course, some of this is a bit silly because if you are pounding away and you're banging your head against the wall and you're not really paying attention to the reality of your relationship, it's going to be very frustrating. So I often see people who are, as we would say, codependent, who at some point just shut down. They give up. They have pounded away at trying to be close and trying to maintain this closeness and trying to create this closeness, but this closeness might not be created in the way they want it to be. And they don't. And often, if you're a over close person who wants to be that connected, you're not seeing the reality of who you picked, and you're not picking up on what's going on, and you have a lot of faith in the way you're doing it, but not much trust in your spouse or in your partner. So a truce can be maintained with a little work, and closeness and separateness can be in a healthier, if imperfect, balance. Balance is self-differentiation. So instead of worry, you'll feel confident. You'll think instead of being a slave to your feelings. You will not be overwhelmed by those feelings and the situation. You will be more rather than less connected to your partner. Reality, in fact, because the reality of the situation of who you picked. If you picked someone who's a distancer for whatever reason, then the reality of the situation is that they may not be very comfortable being as close as you are. And that's part of who you picked, and that's part of your reality. So it's less narcissistic to pay attention to what's real for you. Boundaries are really about respect and awareness rather than just selfish neediness. I mean, needs are important, of course, and a vital part of the relationship, but needs such as being close are not going to be fulfilled, if the person you're with is not ready or feeling forced or anxious and pulling distance because they feel engulfed and overwhelmed. So the work is, how do you maintain closeness and connection in a way that works for the relationship? And that's a lot of what is learned in recovery work, in therapy work. So thank you for listening to my Boundaries Are Difficult, or Why I Hate Boundaries video. My name, again, is Andrew Holzman, 317-457-8668. A. Holzman, HOLZMAN 2 at Comcast.net. And would love to hear from you. Thank you.